I've just recently disassembled my 8-inch joiner, um, put some paint on it, put it back together. What I want to cover in this video is the process that I used for aligning my in-feed and out-feed table back up. I've seen how other people do it. I've done this before using just a straight edge. If you're going to do this for the first time, just be warned, this is a very long and frustrating process. So you can't expect to take most of your day on this. Before I get into that, what I'd like to go over is a few tips on buying used equipment. If you're looking at buying used equipment, I'll give you a few pointers. One is, this machine came with a 3-phase motor. Don't let that deter you from purchasing a piece of equipment. Do a little bit of research, and it may be cost effective for you to go ahead and just swap the motor out. You do not have to buy a phase converter. On the smaller motors, you can buy a replacement. You just need to make sure that the RPM, the horsepower, the shaft size, and everything matches up to the 3-phase motor you're taking out. I would recommend, if you're doing that, find you an electrical person that is knowledgeable of motors and motor controls. Just like on this unit, it's got a magnetic starter in it for the stop-start, and that unit can work with this motor on 230, 240 volt single phase. I'm an electrician by trade. I converted this one over. I bought a new motor from Grizzly. In fact, the first motor they sent had an issue. It would trip the breaker every time I tried to turn it on. They took it right back, immediately sent me a replacement, and it's been working fine ever since. The other thing I did with this piece of equipment is I put the Scheelix segmented cutter head in. Vast improvement. Love it. Wouldn't trade it for anything. And the last thing I did when I tore this down to paint it is the cabinet, the bottom of it sat flat on the floor, and I was always having to shim it up. So I actually welded some steel plates on the bottom corners, and that gives me just 4 spots that this thing sits on, and it doesn't budge a bit. It doesn't shake, vibrate, or anything. It sits good. I don't have to wedge it. The only problem that I really have with this is that, and I've seen this in several old machines, is that the fence has just a little bit of a twist in it. So what I've done is, if I'm going to do something that square is critical, I'll just double check in this area along here where I keep pressure against the fence as I feed a piece of material through, and be sure that that is square to the table. Getting back to setting these two tables up, there's a couple things I learned. I've done this before using a straight edge, and this time I want to use a dial indicator. And you actually have to kind of make you some way to do this, because you want this indicator to run across the length of this board and go all over, referencing your in-feed. You need to adjust or tune up your out-feed table to your in-feed table. So a couple of things that I've learned. If you need to shim up your dovetail ways on this, what I found the cheapest and best way to do is go buy you a pack of feeler gauges. You can probably get a pack of them from Harbor Freight for $2 or $3. Because sometimes what you'll need to do is you may need to shim up one or both of the top or the bottom, or maybe one here, one there. And I like to use these because it's really accurate. You just have to remember, as you loosen your gibs, to slide these in and snug them back down. Things are going to shift. So that's really the time-consuming part. And you can expect to spend several hours doing this. So I've got this one right. I'm not going to move this or take anything apart. Other people have long videos about it. I'm just going to go over a few things that I found beneficial in doing this. One is get you a pack of these and use them. A lot of people like to use a aluminum can or something, but then you're just stuck with one thickness. This right here, you have a variety. You can tweak your table in real close with these. So here's my setup for the dial indicator. The indicator is facing me, so I can be back here. This is just some scrap MDF I had. Used a little bit of two-sided tape between these just to help hold it together. The hand screws that actually do that. I kind of use these as a way to drive this thing around the table so you can watch the indicator at the other end. This way you can go all the way across, and when you use this, you need to pick your in-feed table up above the out-feed so that this will actually ride across here, so your dial indicator can make it all the way to the end of the table. So I know I didn't actually get down into the weeds about actually tweaking and setting this table up. I just wanted to do a kind of a video showing a way to set up a dial indicator to be used to adjust your table, and again, going back over some tips and pointers on buying some used equipment. I hope this was useful to some people out there, and I appreciate you watching, and hope to see you on the next video.